Welcome back to the Who's Yanks. We talk everything Canada soccer and U.S. soccer. Tonight we're going to be continuing the shifting our focus from the men's sides of soccer to the women's side of soccer, as I just got done making the Canadian women's soccer team's preview of their tournament. And now it's time for the Yanks version, or the Lady Yanks, you say, the U.S. women's national team's version of their hosted SheBelieves Cup that is hosted annually, although there will be different teams this year. However, there are a few quality teams in here, and as well as a new opponent that I'm unfamiliar with and really interesting to see how they play. And so, quick rundown of the teams who are participating is, of course, host to the USA, New Zealand, which is a good team that will challenge the USA. Czech Republic can also challenge the USA in a certain way, so that'll also be a fun game to watch. And then Iceland, who is the opponent that I'm interested in watching, as I don't know much about Iceland's women's team, and they're going to be interesting to watch. So hopefully they make that a good game, and that's not going to be the team that they just run all over. As I mean, yeah, those games are fun to see them run up the score, but at the same time, it's also fun to see them learn something from it. So hopefully the U.S. Hopefully all these teams can give them a challenge. Specifically, Iceland, the other team in Czech Republic that I haven't really paid too much attention to. Of course, Czech Republic I know played a little bit with Canada as they tied, I think last summer 0-0. However, now it's time to see what they can do against the USA. So without further ado, that's your teams that are participating in this year's 2022 SheBelieves Cup, hosted annually by the USA. And now today we're going to be breaking down the roster as well, who has the USA chosen as who's going to play in this tournament, as well as the schedule that will be played. Of course, as I said in the Canada game, one of these games will be a late reaction, as I'm going to be in Montreal as it stands in a couple of days. But I mean, I'm trying, as I said in the Canada video, trying to have that game reaction as fast as possible. Might just do that one as soon as I come in that night, which will be on party the 22nd and the 23rd, which is will be same games. So same day that Canada plays their games as well. So won't be surprised if I have to dual screen again too. Which if I have Canada on one screen and USA on the other, as the game both Canada and USA they're playing in different tournaments, but their games are literally on the exact same day. And right now the times for Canada are TBD, but the USA's are released. So I'm guessing Canada might have theirs around the same time too. But hey, what can you do about it? All I can do is make videos about it and react. So that's what's going to happen today, as well as stay tuned to the end of the video, as you're going to see a special shout out. And yeah, I know I said last video was going to be the same too, but why not just start cold turkey spotlighting another different two subs. So stay tuned around to see if your name is going to be sponsored at the end of this video, as well as a special shout out. So stay tuned. But with that, let's go ahead and break down the roster of the 2022 US SheBelieves Cup. And we start with our goalkeepers. We have Aubrey Kingsbury, which someone corrected me and they said that I'm sorry if I forgot already, that she had a different name, I believe, her married name. So sorry once again if I forgot. I'm just reading off the names, unfortunately, that the US gives me. Casey Murphy, Alyssa Nair. So I think Alyssa Nair might get to start there, although Casey Murphy has been coming up as an interesting US keeper recently, as she played in the Australia game too. So won't be surprised if I see her there. And then our defenders, we have Alana Cook, Abby Dahlkemper, Tiana Davis. And by the way, as I always say when I'm reading off these names, apologies in advance for if I butcher or mispronounce their names. So I want to go ahead and get that out of the way before there's a lot of pushback. Sofia Huerta, Kelly O'Hara, Becky Sauerbrunn, Emily Sonnet. Of course, Sofia Huerta is always going to be she's the player for me to watch out for. I think she had an interview, but I didn't watch it yet. I still need to. And yeah, I mean, she's a couple new names, but most of these people, it's the names so far I do recognize. However, we got to keep going and find out that trend keeps going. Look like that new name. We have Morgan Gautrat. That's a new one for me, so sorry if I mispronounced her name. Gautrat. Lindsay Haran, Rose Lavelle, Katarina Macario, Christy Mewis, Ashley Sanchez, and Andy Sullivan as your midfielders. Morgan Gautrat is a new one there. And then finally, our forwards. We know these forwards. We've seen them before. Ashley Hatch, who had a great game against Australia. She scored both games, I believe. Mallory Pugh, Margaret Purce. Now this one I know here, she prefers Mitch Purce, so I do know that one as I can well in the catch I know on last time too. And then Sophia Smith and Lynn Williams. So those are your players for the USA's She Believes Cup. And I mean, yeah, once again, it's a continued transition, just like the Australia games where they're passing the torch from the old to the new. No Carly Lloyd, no. Why did I forget her? No Carly Lloyd, no Megan Rapinoe, which I don't know why I forgot. She's obviously a U.S. hero. And should be not worth forgetting. But obviously those two are not in the mix, so they're going to be relying on younger U.S. talent and new names that we haven't heard of so far. So that's going to be interesting to see from that perspective of the lineup, as well as, the continued transition of the passing of the torch from old generation to new generation, as well as even more prep for the 2023 World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. And, in terms of, we'll talk about the opponent and breakdown later, but just sticking to the roster for now. Just seeing, these new exciting players, like the ones that I even recognize that are being called up. Just like the Canada video, I'm going to be excited to see what these USA's talent got too. I've seen a little bit of Ashley Hatt, so I know she's still new by all means, but I did see her play in the Australia game, and as I said, she looked phenomenal. She scored, of course, 2 early goals, and so she's obviously a player to watch. What most excites me the most is that, she got her, but what about the other players that I don't know of that could obviously surprise me? So there's always that element of surprise to it, as well as who could always shock me and shock anyone else and come up big for the USA. So interesting to see how these new U.S. women's national team players are going to play. Given that they've been called up, how are they going to take it? This is their time to shine. Let's see what they do against somewhat quality opponents. I know they're not as quality as Canada, but hey, still, I'm not going to try and judge, but compared to last SheBelieves Cup, I know the opponents were a little bit more. You had Canada, you had Brazil, then you had Argentina, which Argentina was the team that everybody farmed points off of, unfortunately. Sorry, Argentina. But this year is it looks like a somewhat more balanced tournament, maybe. I know you got the USA, which they're favored to win, again, their own tournament. I think every other year the USA has won their own tournament. But you got the Czech Republic, you got New Zealand, which New Zealand is probably going to be the other favorite to try and champion for this trophy. Which, by the way, it looks like February 20th, that's going to be the game where I'm in Montreal, so that'll be a late reaction. But then you got Iceland, which I don't know about, which that's always going to be, that's going to be the element of surprise maybe for me. How good is this Icelandic team, as well as, are they going to shock me? So, that, and then, of course, Czech Republic you got, as well as also the other team that I know about for a little bit from watching Canada and other teams play, as even the USA play, I think, way, way, way back, but they're a different team, and it's a new tournament, new year. Let's see what this Czech Republic team is made of, Could Czechia surprise the USA, too, on the 17th? So, and that's a late game, too. That's at 11 p.m. But I'm already pre-breaking down the schedule, but let me tell you guys, I won't officially break down the schedule right here, right now, but in terms of the lineup, just kind of like Canada, they're getting ready for a big year, big World Cup qualifying year, trying to make the World Cup. They're passing the torch from old generation to new, and they're just getting ready, right? New transition, you got young players, young talent, still going to be probably one of the favorites to win the World Cup despite the, the transition, but still, these new players, what are they going to do? What are they going to do, Young players, are they going to live up to the hype and expectation? Or are they going to drop the ball? I think they're going to live up to the hype and just eventually grow into the game, but it's going to take some time, and it's still a process, as I said earlier on. So it's going to be interesting to just keep our eye on in terms of the roster, and I just can't wait to see how they play and how Coach Andronovsky uses them. So that's going to be interesting to watch. So that's their roster. And then in terms of your game breakdown, we have, as I said, I started talking about them earlier, but let me officially address them here. So here's your game breakdown on Thursday, February 17th, so exactly a week from when this video is being recorded at 11 p.m. That's the late game I'm talking about. They played Czech Republic. I wish I can see the stadium that they're playing at. I think it's probably at a southern location. Maybe it's in Austin. I think maybe it's at Q2 Stadium. Maybe it's in Orlando, but I'm pretty sure it's in Austin, given the training camp is in Austin. However, I'm not sure, so sorry on the stadium and the exact venue, but I do know there's a game against Czech Republic on the 17th, next Thursday at 11 p.m. That's the first game. And then the second game, which I've said over and over, New Zealand. This one's obviously going to be one of the tastiest games of the whole tournament. You know, you got the United States and New Zealand, two of the top powerhouses in the world, going at each other. And that's at 3 p.m. on February 20th. So, fortunately, I'm going to be in Montreal. So, that's going to be a late game. So, I'll be watching highlights of that and reacting to the highlights rather than probably the actual game. So, that'll probably be a shortened video. Unfortunately, sorry in advance. But video reaction will probably come out of that around the 22nd that night. And then after the 22nd, after I do that video reaction, we're going to roll right into the 23rd, which it's a late game. And it's against Iceland. And that's at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So, yeah, once I get that reaction video up to you guys, we're going to go right into the last game. And, hey, by then, we'll know whether the United States and New Zealand, how they stand, right? This is obviously going to be that mystery game that unfortunately I'm not going to be able to see, or because I'm going to be there. So hopefully it's going to be a good game, but at the same time I'm curious to really see how. I mean, I know the highlights only select a few bits and they don't really show everything, and that's unfortunate there. But just the lineup that's being played there, how the players play in the lineup, as well as how they play against a quality opponent. That's what I'm really interested to say about that game. Probably the most appetizing game of the whole tournament, as I said. No offense to Czech Republic and Iceland, but New Zealand, I mean, they always typically give the USA a good hefty battle, as well as Australia. But, I mean, other teams like Czech Republic and Iceland can also surprise me too. So, hey, I don't rule them out, especially they can always pull out an element of surprise and really teach the USA some tough lessons if they're not careful. So don't count the Czech Republic and Iceland out. But those are your games. As I said, one of the games on February 20th will have a late reaction. Apologies in advance. But do my best there. But other than that, I mean, in terms of the opponents, as I said, the Czech Republic, still, I know somewhat about them, but I don't know a lot. So they're going to be an element of surprise based to see how they play. You know, some of these teams might go into a low block like they do against the USA. You know, they just sit back and defend, and when they get their chance, they counter. So maybe the Czech Republic might do that, or they might just say, hey, we're not afraid to take it to you guys, and we're just going to give it all you got, right? Which that'll make for an entertaining game. And, you know, but the United States, if they're just fine with just letting them sit back and defend and just play in a low block position, then, hey, that's the kind of game that's going to be. And maybe the United States is going to get one or two good looks, but it's going to be up to them to finish. So that's going to be interesting on the United States and see how that game is going to be played. In terms of the New Zealand-United States match, this is, as I said, the most tastiest match of the tournament, as got two heavyweights going against each other. New Zealand obviously is one of the best teams in the world, as well as the United States. So this game's gonna suck to miss, but at the same time, I mean, I know it's gonna be an appetizing game. Both teams are not gonna sit back and defend. Hopefully, both teams will go at each other. You know, full press, full everything, and it's gonna be an entertaining game. I can already see it coming too. So that's gonna suck that I had to miss that one, but yeah. Okay, well, hopefully the highlights can do somewhat of a justice, and hopefully, maybe if not the highlights, I can just follow a game thread and give you guys the game thread and perhaps find a highlight of what interesting happened there, but I'll figure that out whenever that comes. And then finally, the final match of the tournament is Iceland on February 23rd, and I mean, this, as I said, it's the mystery match, perhaps the most mysterious match of them all. You know, you got Czech Republic, of course, being the other one, but Iceland's way more mysterious for me, because I don't know anything about the Icelandic women's team, and I just know that this can easily be a game where, hey, I mean, Iceland's either going to be really, really good, or they're really going to be really, really bad, like the Argentina. No offense, but they might be like that, where I hope it's not like that, but I hope it's really, really good. That way they can keep testing this U.S. team and asking questions and allowing them to learn. But we don't know. I mean, I don't know what Iceland is. I mean, I don't know what Iceland plays. You know, I don't know like how their playing style is. So it's gonna be interesting to learn a lot from that game, and that one we'll definitely be able to see. And I'll definitely be able to break down my thoughts and stuff on that and opinions as well as to you guys. So for sure, that one is probably outside of the New Zealand, United States, and the Czech Republic games. That one's probably going to be one of the most circled games on my calendar because Iceland, I have no idea, no clue how they're going to come out. You know, are they going to probably start going to a low block and then play like kind of the Czech Republic, or are they going to just take it head on? So Iceland, USA, on February 23rd. That is perhaps one of the most mysterious games of the tournament, and that hopefully is an enjoyable game to watch. So that's your tournament breakdown as well as your roster breakdown. So interesting all around, and really just can't wait to see what these games are like. As I said, they're going to be dual screen, probably depending on how Canada and England schedule their games, given that Canada's playing their games over in England, so they're 5 hours ahead of me. And hey, if they play at the same time, it is what it is. I'll just do my best to react to both of them as I did with the men's, and I can't really complain, but at least I'm getting content to you guys. Well, that's the tournament, and hopefully it's a great SheBelieves Cup tournament. Hopefully the teams can ask quality challenges of the U.S. team. But without that, I want to end with the video with the shoutouts as I promised. So as I said in the Canada video, if you want to see your name shouted out, make sure you leave a comment down below. You know, they're kind of, you know, you never know. Any video, you know, and your name can magically appear in one of these videos one day. So without that, you know, as I shouted out the last video, I shouted out Jamal and Raylon. So if you guys are watching this, hope you guys enjoyed your shout out. And today we're going to be shouting, I know I said I was going to shout out the same two, but I want to shout out the next two or another two random ones. And from this video against when Canada beat El Salvador, it's Purple Rabbit and Sam M. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name. Artaby, I think. So I think it's Artaby. But sorry once again, Sam, if I mispronounced your last name. That I butchered it, but sorry. But you get a shout out along with Purple Rabbit. Thank you guys for your support, and hopefully you guys can continue enjoying the content that I'm producing, as well as, you know, you keep enjoying the video and just keep supporting me, as well as I'll keep making good content in return to producing you guys. And so if you're watching this video, both Sam and Purple Rabbit, you guys get your shout out. Congratulations, you made it in the video, and probably not that big of a news, but hey, you're in a video, and there you are. So thank you guys for your continued support, and hopefully you guys can keep supporting me in the future. But with that, as I said, reminder, if you want to see your name appear in the video, just leave a comment or below, or just simply you can send a request and I'll answer that too. As I said with Raylon, he sent me a request and I gave him a promise. As I said, promise is a promise, and he was in the Canada video. So if you want to see your name appear, just comment or send me a request, and I will happily do so. Although the request will probably be more direct rather than a comment will be more randomized. So that's the only difference between the two. But ever since the new kind of tradition I'm taking since I got 100 subs. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that tradition, as well as hopefully it's something to keep you guys active. If you want to be in the video, if not, that's cool too. But something I just really want to do for fun. But thank you guys for your support. If you like this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell it with all your friends. You know, also share it with all your friends. The USA is getting ready for the SheBelieves Cup 2022. New teams, new challenges.